This is Jamie LeBlanc. He's the leader of New Brunswick Arm Wrestling, the New Brunswick Arm Wrestling Association, plus the Hub City Hitmen. Basically, he's the man in New Brunswick for arm wrestling as an organizer and as a competitor. Probably pound for pound, he'd be right up there, if not the best. He'd be nipping at the heels of whoever proclaims himself to be the best. Jamie was the first person that I pulled with in a practice, and I think, Jamie, you've finished. You've done as well as second at the Nationals, have you not?
Yeah, that's basically my highest achievement. Basically, pulling in 2022 at the Manitoba Nationals. I was able to get in finals against Joe Fox from Alberta.
And he's a legend.
Yeah, he's very well established in the arm wrestling community. So it was quite an honor to be able to make it to finals there. And I've also a few little feathers in my cap that I'm very proud to say, pulling against legends like Mark McPhail. And I've also had a big match against a new up-and-comer, Brett Landsberg. I didn't pull successfully against Brett, but at the same time,
Who does?
Yeah, that's just it. Brett's definitely.
He's also 300 pounds.
300 pounds, yeah. But man, he's a force to be reckoned with right now.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. But I mean, you've won just about everything locally, you're widely regarded in the arm wrestling community around here, at least, because I don't know much beyond here, to be fair. I've been to one Nationals, and I know a few people, but locally, I mean, whenever arm wrestling's discussed, and people will talk about technique and trainers and, people that know the ins and outs, you're the man. And even the guys that are probably ahead of you would beat you, the super heavyweights that would beat you on a table,
yeah,
would say that you're probably the smartest arm wrestler. You're technically, you're sound as I've practiced with you a million times. And,
yeah.
Right when I think I have you figured out, you just pull another tool out of the toolbox and cut my head off.
Reg Alain is one of my first coach, basically, and I give him a lot of the credit for a lot of my technique. And he always says, if you beat Jamie once, you're probably not going to beat him again because he's going to figure out your style and
your endurance.
Yeah,
because I've always thought in the super match, I like my chances of getting a win on you, but my chance is the first one. My chances drastically go down with every pull. In practice, there's been practices where I've got your number for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden that strap comes out and it's bloop, 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 because you've got that, probably from your martial arts background, you've just got good cardio.
Yeah, well, a lot of my training basically came in my early age. So if you ask a lot of the more veterans around in the Atlantic area, they definitely will say I'm somewhat of the new kid on the block. I started around 2018. And if it wasn't for my best friend, Randy Chamberlain, who got me into the sport, he was absolutely obsessed with it. It was every day, him and I'd always go at his place, and it was just talk, nonstop obsession about the sport. So if it wasn't for the consistent rehearsal of the sport, I probably wouldn't have as in-depth knowledge as I do, basically, right? So I give kudos to my best friend, basically.
Well, I have a feeling, and I've never met Randy, but I've never heard a bad word about him. And there's pictures everywhere I go that represents arm wrestling in this area. There's pictures of him on the wall, memorials, and I see it all over Facebook. So I'm sad to have not met him, and I wish I would have. But he certainly, his legacy is living on within you.
Well, there's a reason why that I, as the president of the Arm Wrestling Association, that we developed the Randy Chamberlain Award for Athlete of the Year. And it's because that guy there was the first one in, always the last one out.
Right.
So that's the dedication that you need in this kind of a sport here. Yeah. It's hard to be a fly-by-night type of athlete unless you're just naturally extremely gifted.
Or you don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
And some people some people just show up to tournaments and knowing full well that they don't stand a chance, but that's them.
Yeah,
I'm never going to be someone personally that's there just to make up numbers. Even if I finish last, my intention was to go there and win.
Yeah, 100%. And arm wrestling is a sport that you get what you give, like any sport. But at the same time, I find a lot of people, it's either you start a little bit and they kind of flake out, or they're extremely indulged. Into the sport, and you kind of create your lifestyle around that. So if you're working a physical job, you start maybe holding your hammer a different way.
Yeah.
You take in the groceries with a pronation and stuff like that. So
what those are those 5 gallon or whatever, those water cooler things.
Yeah.
They got the handle on them. When I walk out to IGA with them, do you think I'm holding them like this?
No.
I'm holding them like this. And I'm fucking shaking it before I get to my truck. But I'm working on my back pressure.
Right. That's
I
right.
look like an idiot to everyone who doesn't understand why I'm doing it, but I don't care.
Well,
in my mind, I'm getting it just a little bit stronger.
Yeah, and arm wrestling is a bit. I mean, it's not the most popular sport. It is gaining quite a bit of headway, but the fact, like, let's say you go to the gym and arm wrestling is important to know that sometimes the half reps are the most important. Where some guy, some bodybuilder might come up to you and say, "Hey, you're doing that wrong." And Reg Allen was like, "Well, do you know what I'm training for?"
Exactly.
No, he says, "Well, how do you know I'm doing it wrong?" Right. So
I probably
like that,
do 20 different types of pronation now, and it's not something I've learned; it's something I feel. So if I feel like if I'm struggling in practice to get that last little bit in to pin, you know, you got somebody close just to peel, then I'll do my pronation work the next day. I'll just do like this.
Exactly.
That's it. And some days I'll do way out. That's more of a defensive pronation. You know, so once you figure out the different spots on the table and where you need to be strong, then you can really diversify your training. And that's the part I enjoy about this the most.
Well, there's so many different tools available nowadays, especially, you know, people with 3D printers. Jody Harper's one of them that has different handles. You can get an array of different of them online. But, you know, a lot of them are homemade, basically. People just use towels.
Right.
Karate belts is still a very popular one. And I was selling quite a few handles. I just kind of had to get away from every aspect of the sport. I was promoting tournaments, trying to be an athlete, making tables, other equipment. And I would sell an equipment to somebody and they said, "What do you prefer? Do you like the wrist rollers? Do you like the karate belt?" I said, really, they're all kind of hitting a different degree because you can't replicate entirely.
And not only that, it doesn't matter what you like. It matters what you like for you. But we all have different hand structures, different body structures. And, you know, we're all going to, there's some tools that people use that they swear by. I don't really like them. I don't feel it's hitting me properly.
Exactly.
So, and not only that, the best way to train is the way that you enjoy it enough so that you'll train again tomorrow. So if I do your workout and I hate it, then I might not do it the next day. But I like my workout. You know what I mean? And sometimes we'll work out together and you know, do a little bit of each other's stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to train the way you want to train.
Yeah, and you know, with video technology nowadays, it's so easy with your phone. Be your own biggest critique. Watch yourself on your videos.
Absolutely.
See exactly that moment where you lost. Oh, right there. That's what I did wrong. That's what I got to work on.
Not only that, but that's where I need to be stronger so that it doesn't happen. Anyway, Jamie, I'm going to congratulate you a year in advance on your Nationals win.
I hope so.
I think next year you're going to win the fucking Nationals.
I'm going for it. So I want everyone to be ready. Next year, New Brunswick, 2026. Let's go.
Yes, sir.